I want to bring in Joshua Ritter now. He's a criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor and host of the True Crime Daily Sidebar podcast. I'm wondering, I mean, this is a trial for Lori. She's facing murder charges for her 2 children and conspiracy for Tammy. But this sister is talking about Chad in this case. What does it have to do with Lori? How will prosecutors connect these dots for this jury?
Yeah, they're all wrapped up together. It's hard for us to kind of parse this apart and say that this case can only be about Lori. I mean, Chad is just as much a part of this. He's come up several times when we were talking about the children, and now that we've turned our attention to his wife, Tammy, it's obvious that he's going to come up again. It's unfortunate that they're not being tried together, and I think that's what we're seeing is a little bit of the difficulty of having these trials be separate. Is that, you know, as much as we're trying to focus our attention, or the prosecutors rather, focus their attention on Lori, Chad is always going to play a central role in this entire trial.
What goes into that decision on whether or not to try them together or separately?
That decision was kind of taken out of their hands because Lori, as we know, had gone in and out of competency. Her attorneys had declared a doubt on her a couple of times, and so that set her clock, as far as her constitutional rights to a speedy trial, on a different track from Chad's. He has waived his time to a speedy trial. She has not. So that sort of forced the prosecution's hand to separate these trials.
Joshua, the testimony this week has been some of the most brutal and grueling that we have heard so far. They're going into great detail about how the 2 kids were killed. I want to play for folks at home some sound from testimony of a forensic expert talking about a bladed tool and the remains of Tylee, the teenager, and then we'll talk about it.
There was damage that was occurred onto the other side of the bone. That came from a stabbing type action from a bladed tool, such as a knife, along the tip. However, I wasn't able to preclude some type of other bladed tool where a portion of a corner of that tool, like a cleaver, may have been used.
It is just horrific, but my question to you is, how significant is this forensic evidence for the jury to hear?
Well, I think it's important for them to understand what the last moments of these poor young children's lives were like. You know, there was some testimony that these wounds, these stabbing or, you know, cutting wounds that they were talking about just now may have been post-mortem. It may have been after her death, after they had already attempted to burn her body. We also heard testimony about how JJ was asphyxiated, a bag put over his head. This is horrible, horrible stuff. But it helps the jurors to understand the premeditation behind all of this, the planning that went into a lot of this. And as gruesome as it is, it does prove the elements. And so it's important for the prosecution to get that in front of the jurors so that they understand how these murders took place.
And we also heard from a forensic scientist talking about prints and palm prints found on JJ and some of the other evidence. Let's listen to that.
And so evaluation of item 11 in the lab, the black plastic with the duct tape, yielded 2 latent prints. Yes, yes. And both of those latent prints matched the known prints of whom?
Alexander Lamar Cox.
So this forensic scientist linking Alex, Lori's brother's prints to the crime scene and the evidence, but not Lori's. How problematic will that be for the prosecution?
That is the final dots that the prosecution needs to connect here. You make a really excellent point. Alex obviously is connected somehow to these murders. The bodies were found on the property of Chad Daybell. All of them likely played a role. It sounds like Lori had motive. This case has been high on her motive. This case has been high on her consciousness of guilt, the way that she behaved and things she said after the murders, but they're going to have to connect her somehow before the murders. Was there planning involved? Was there steps that she took in furtherance of the murders? Because she's charged with conspiracy to have committed these here. So some way, you're right, they're going to need to either forensically or otherwise connect her to these murders before they took place.
And this has all been the prosecution's case so far, right? It feels like they're just digging a hole for the defense, but the defense is going to get a turn to strategize and to cross-examine and bring their own witnesses. What do you anticipate from the defense to start to cloud the picture of this case for the jury?
I think they're probably going to point out the things that we've been talking about this morning, that as much as we know that she may have had a motive as far as her fringe religious beliefs, and as much as we know that she may have behaved bizarrely afterwards, being in Hawaii at the time that her children were missing, they're going to point out the fact about what actually connects her to the murder. Now, we saw kind of a preview of that when they did their opening statements, where they pointed towards her brother, Alex Cox, and towards Chad Daybell. It's curious to see how they're going to flesh that out. How will that continue to materialize in their defense if they call any witnesses at all?
Joshua Ritter, as always, thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you.